tyres arrived this morning. MOTOZ Tractionator Enduro i.t. So I'm going to be giving this a whirl now to see how it goes in the Welsh mud, and more importantly to see how long it lasts, because I don't like changing tyres all the time. At the best of times, I've got to be honest. So we'll see how she wears, and I shall let you know how she performs as well. Looks good, mind, in fairness. Looks a nice tread pattern, good for the mud, etc. But you can never tell on the bikes, because especially with the 690, 701s, etc., they're that bit heavier, so they don't tend to perform quite as well as they do on the smaller bikes, like a 300 TPI or something I used to have before. So I shall let you know anyway. This has been a very good tyre, I must say, from MOTOZ. I'm not sponsored by MOTOZ, by the way. I'm mentioning them all the time. It's just been recommended them and tried them, and they are very good as an adventure tyre, I must be honest. Very good lasting, and a bit expensive these days, and things seem to be costing a lot more. I think I paid 67 quid for this one last year, whereas that new IT I've got now is £103 if I remember right. So things are going up, aren't they? But we get there. So yeah, that's the Tractionator Desert HT, that is, and that has worn well in fairness, but the 1,000 miles of the trip has finished it off now, so I'm going to change that today. Pads look okay. Right, that's the one side in anyway. It does help having a nice warm weather, because the beads are nice and soft and malleable. In comparison to busting and twisting them. say, nice small bites, and then you don't get the big pressures building up on the levers then. Lovely jubbly. Well, that went on an absolute treat, that did. Can't fault that. I hope it's not too soft because I don't want to wear it out too quick again. There we are. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right, and on this sprocket I went standard on this, but I went back up to a 15 tooth for the trip because the 14 tooth's great and gnarly stuff, but I didn't fancy it on the motorways. It would have been a nightmare. Right. Right. Gracious. Bring your spindle back up. Lovely. Right, chain is all as she was, back up tight. Chain markings, check them. Yep, second mark back. Pads are good for another couple of rides at least. So there we are, that tyre wasn't too bad to fit at all, really good. Back on. All torqued back up properly as well, so that's ready to go. Next job now will be the oil change, because my slave cylinder dumped all the clutch fluid into the oil, so I'm going to be taking that for a good spin to heat everything up and dropping the oil and changing the filters, the screens and the oil over, and then she'll be good to go then for next ride. There she is, she's on. Pads to do next. We got a bit of life left in them, but say 1 or 2 rides and then I'll get them changed then. Front pads are good. They're good, they're fine, they're new. Well, we've done 1,000 miles, but they're good. So like I say, oil change next now. Drop the oil and filters and then she's good to go for some more adventures. Literally just out this morning to give the bike a little warm up, ready for the oil change. So get everything heated up and get any rubbish that's in the engine out then, hopefully when I drop it. So that's the idea. Surprising though when you haven't ridden for a while, how me anyway, feel like I haven't ridden a bike before. Now it's been about 3 weeks since we did the trip and feels like 3 months. After a week of riding as well, you don't half gel with being on the bike. You know, the trip was a week long and we just riding it all day long, and you get to be so comfortable on the bike. takes a good day out again to get the feel back for the bike. Feeling nice with that new tyre. Although saying that, it is dry, so it's a nice little climb. Have a go at that now. Yeah, there's the bike up there, so she's quite gnarly. In between gears a bit though, because I changed back to a 15 tooth. First and second there's a bit, playing the clutch a bit in second to start it off. Warm up now and then I'm off. Tell you what, a nice feature I like on this bike for when you're putting it to go a bit is the quick shifter. Some people don't like it, I love it, I do, for off-road. Don't even have to worry about the clutch, just up or down, it's nice. Right, back for the oil change. Right, so everything's nice and hot. I'm just going to whip the front guard off now. Right, I need to get the bike up a bit more square now. I'm just going to crack this main nut off now, engine with a 13mm. I have cracked it. I'll just take it off now by hand. This engine oil isn't old at all. The bike was serviced before the trip, but obviously, like I said, because of the contamination in there, I've got to be very careful now as well, because this oil will be boiling. Yeah, that's great. Let that flow now for a while, and be careful now, obviously, because things are still hot, right? It's boiling. These filters are pretty new as well. They weren't changed long ago. It's just because of that, purely because of that incident with the brake fluid going in there. Right, so that's both sides out now. Give them a good clean out now with some tissue. Then we'll take the oil screens out. That's all the seals on there, lubricated. There's one on the screw cap and two on the oil screen itself, all lubed up. Lubricate both filters then again as you'd be inserting them into the bike. Push the filter back in now, and you can feel it. You can feel it locating when it's right. That's great there. That's gone in there lovely. Repeat it then on the other side. Now you can go ahead and fit the oil caps back on, but please be very careful with these, because I've seen this firsthand where they can be over tightened. Doesn't take much and you've got a repair job on your hands then straight away. So please be very careful with these to stick to the torque specs, and you'll be right then. Another little tip as well is thread them in by hand as far as you can first, because you know then that the pressure you put in and it's not cross threading in any way. So you can see this is going in freely without any resistance, so I know that's not cross threaded. So that's a little tip, and we'll repeat that on all four of those fixings then. sump guard back on with the aid of my third hand here. Just to help hold it in place. They're so hard, you have to try and bend them back while trying to hold the nut and line it up and everything, so that just held it there both sides, so worked okay. Time to fill the oil now, so crack this off. And then top it to suit then with the sight glass. So we'll get on with that now. There we go. There's the sight glass now. Obviously this is before I've run it, so that's the level I like it to finish at normally, but once I run this now, I reckon the empty oil filter chambers will take some of that oil away now, so I'll be topping up again then. So we'll have a look now. Okay, I've just run the bike now for 5-10 minutes. I'm going to let that oil settle now. I'll have a cup of tea and then I'll top her up to suit then. And then jobs are good then and ready for the next adventure. There we are, we're about 45 minutes after I originally put this in, and it's as I expected. The oil filter chambers have drunk quite a bit of that oil, so I'll top it up now to suit. Beautiful. Job done. I like to give the standard cap a little tweak just so she doesn't come loose. Not too much. There we are. Just a bit tighter than you could with by hand, because I have known them to come loose. So there we are, all done.